It's time to look at our week 1 matchup against KJ2294. My good friend KJ, always been there for me, always been a great guy, got me into PDD in the first place, and I'm so glad to be back. Hoping I can win this first week to show him why I'm here. The matchup is an interesting one. You can see some of KJ's top mons like Sneasler, Baxcalibur, Thunderous, and Terra Comfey are remarkably strong, and a decent matchup into a couple of my dice. Baxcalibur is extremely scary here. Its strong ice moves, along with its strong earthquake, can break through Toxic Gliscor quite easily. Has that Mammothswine coverage that our team can struggle with. Sneasler does kind of get stonewalled by Gliscor, Pex, and a bit of Goldengo, but it can also beat all three of them. It can choose which to beat. It's a scary mon that does still require some prep. Jirachi is just this really good support mon overall. Goldengo luckily has a really good matchup into it, but it has ways of beating it. Stuff like Carmine Shadow Ball is really good. A lot of scary stuff here. As far as like their hazards go, Jirachi's quite good at getting rocks up versus us. Cyclone doesn't really want to come in on that. Overquill is quite good at getting spikes up as well. Cyclone can at least threaten some damage with like a Draco, but it's not perfect. And their removal is, well, it's okay. It's Donphan. It's one of the ground type spinners, which means it's a little harder to block with Goldengo, especially because it has ice coverage, so it's not like we can just spike on it infinitely with Gliscor. There's a chance that just our hazard game doesn't really come up this game, which is fine. You know, there's a chance that Excalibur is boots, there's a chance that Thunderous is off the ground. Blast, like there's just a lot going away from us as far as hads go. I'm not too focused on it this game. Let's have a look at what I'm bringing though. First one, of course, Iron Bundle. Bundle is great for a lot of reasons. He's really fast, the fastest thing in the game. Well, not in the game, but in this game. With that timid 128 speed, hits super strong with Hydro Pump and Freeze Dry, and Encore is a great coverage move that'll hopefully let me catch Pokemon like Comfey trying to set up on it. I think a big thing that could trip us up this game is Comfey. It does a lot of damage with its Terra Ground sets versus Toxapex, and even if I try to like hit it with Pex, it doesn't like die. Very scary mon. I've got a couple of things sorted for it, and this is just one of them. Otherwise, Bundle is Bundle. I'm running Boots. I just don't want to worry about removal this game. Spoiler, I'm not slotting any at all. So Boots kind of felt mandatory. Next one up, my good friend Goldengo. Goldengo is hopefully going to be one of the win cons here. As you probably saw versus KJ's team, his fire type is Magmortar, and even his ground type is Donphan. Donphan's pretty strong, by all means, but Donphan's a mon that can kind of get chipped pretty easily, especially if it's on removal duty, which can potentially put Goldengo in this really easy spot to win a later game situation. Now, the big thing that's kind of tripping me up here is Terra Ground Comfey again, because our team is quite ground weak. Gliscor can... It's weird, because I think the best check would kind of be like a Spadef Gliscor, but it has Stadia Drain as well, and just Draining Kiss does a bunch to Gliscor. It's a really hard mon to deal with that Comfey, I'll tell you what. Even with only like, 81 special attack, super strong after a Carmine boost when it gets to run Modest. This Goldengo is just suited to try to win late game though. Max defense plus Shucker should mean that this is a super good Baxcalibur check. Make It Rain is always going to kill that mon. Hopefully late game we're just able to plot on stuff, recover up versus just about everything. Like this much bulk means that unboosted Thunderous doesn't break us, Sneasler never does, Bax really struggles. There's pretty much nothing that can 2-hit KO us on that team apart from like a boosted Comfey, like a boosted Bax EQ and Magmortar, which I have the Shucker for those two ground types. And then Magmortar I just don't think is coming to... I'm not going to say it's bad. I just think there's better things KJ could bring. Next on the list, we've got Gliscor. Gliscor got a lot of great stuff going for it, such as being Gliscor. in all seriousness, this is kind of a primary Sneasler check. I still don't know if he would bring it or not, but it's just such a troublesome mon that if I don't bring this sort of set, I feel like I would just be under-prepped for it. We've got Dual Wing Beat to beat any, balloon subsets that potentially try to set up on Gliscor, because that could very well happen. Like a balloon subset kind of beats Gliscor, it beats Pex, like beating those two in the same slot, and maybe it carries coverage for Goldango, like that would be really scary. So I've got the Dual Wing Beat, I've got high horsepower, he has Thwacky. It should come. I think Thwacky is decent into me. Not the best into me, but like might as well. It's 5 base power, 5 accuracy. I don't really mind. We got Toxic. Toxic is really easily clickable this game. Nothing, no toxic immunities if I want to switch in. A lot of KJ stuff is quite contingent on trying to sweep stuff like Bax, stuff like Comfey. Getting a Toxic off is really good. And finally, Spikes. I don't think Spikes is going to come up too much, but I would kind of be stupid to not bring them. There's a chance I probably should have brought Rocks instead. Hard to say. I think Spikes is probably going to be better for us, so. EV spread is pretty standard. I believe I have speed for Blastoise. And then just max Spadef to try to check some of the special threats on that team as best as I can. Next up we have Pex. Pex is a weird one this gen. As I kind of went over in the team analysis, Pex lost a couple of things that made it a lot better. Stuff like School, stuff like Knock. So you have to play a little differently this gen. To stop stuff subbing on me, I've got Gunk Shot and Liquidation, with a bit of attack investment. Both of these mean that something like Bax, something like Comfey, something like Sneasler can't sub on me and get that sort of initiative. Haze is there to kind of just stop any sort of setup attempts. And Recover is there. I should put music on. No, we're done now. We're already like most of the way there now. I can't stop. And Recover is just there because healing is good. Helmet's great. Comfey's Draining Kiss is Contact, which is a lot of fun, just to hit it. Sneasler hates helmets. A couple other things on that team that don't like Helmet just being around. Odds are should be good. There's a couple of items I wish maybe I'm thinking about. Maybe I could have brought instead. Something like Red Card or Eject Button could have been really cool here. I think this helmet is fine though. Just because, again, I'm kind of scared of Sneasler. It's just a lot of things to worry about this game. Second to last, but never least, Blaziken! With the Blaze ability, very sad. But Blaze is a really good staffer here. With Adamant and not even max speed, we're outspeeding everything. Which is great. The Adamant Terra fighting CC kind of just obliterates his entire team. Which is a great feeling. It 2-hit carries stuff like Thunderous, stuff like Comfey, just a huge chunk to everything. I'm hoping a late game situation comes up where Blaziken maybe wins, because it just does so much damage. You know, it's either Goldango is like bulky enough to win in the late game, Blaziken just kills everything, maybe Bundle's fast enough late game, but also Blaziken's really good at breaking early as well. You may be questioning Double Edge on this set. When thinking about it, I'm pretty much always clicking CC. Flare Blitz on the rare exception, I need to click it to hit something super effectively. U-turn if I need to pivot. There's potential late game situations where, there's Comfey not Herod alive, plus a fire resist, Blastoise, where I think, I would want to maybe click, I'd have to click Double Edge to kill them. It's the best neutral click in that situation. It probably doesn't come up, but there's a chance it does. So it's just, always nice to have, if a lot of stuff is in range, but then Comfey is out of range of CC, but not out of range of Double Edge, that's kind of the situation. And now last, but certainly not least, little old Galvantula with Terra Electric. I want Galv to kind of break down stuff like Donphan, break down stuff like possibly Overquill. Webs is potentially super good for me, controlling speed here would make me feel a lot more comfortable with a lot of things. This mon just does a huge amount of damage with stuff like the Thunder with Life Orb, the Volt Switch just does a huge amount, Bug Buzz does a huge amount. This should get a lot of damage on mons. It's probably going to die early. I'm not sure if I'll even get the webs up, because I kind of just want damage, but getting webs up randomly, and then maybe trying to play to keep them in play, like going Goldango a lot on Donphan, possibly that's an angle I can do, where then, like, later on, Goldango is, like, faster than everything, as well as being bulkier than everything. Like, there's that angle. That's the team I've got for this week. Overall, I'm confident with it. There is some worrisome stuff if we just go back to the matchup once again. Potentially worried about Comfey. It's kind of the main thing I've been mentioning. It really is the scariest one this matchup. Only 7 points with Fire and Ground Terrors. Jirachi has a lot of unpredictability to it. It could be really scary. Something like Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Psychic, and then like I don't know, like Draining Hiss. I think it has now. Or just Swish or whatever, like maybe just this kind of offensive Jirachi. Bax is obviously super scary. I've got the, I think, necessary prep to deal with it. Stuff like the Gunk Shot to prevent it from subbing, and stuff like kind of a bundle with quite a bit of HP, take the hits, and of course Goldango with Shocker and max defense. Same with Sneasler, I've got kind of a necessary prep on Gliscor and Pex and Goldango. Like, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it's still just scary. Like, a lot of these mons, it's like, oh, I can check him with this or this, but eventually one of my defensive mons might get overwhelmed. You know, Gliscor's great, but it doesn't last forever if I have to check an entire team. Especially because I wasn't able to slot Protect this week. Pex can struggle to check things forever. It's gonna be close, I think, no matter what. It's gonna be a fast game. I'm just hoping I can potentially navigate myself around it. I'll see you all in the game itself, though. Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and today we are watching the Week 1 game. I was quite deathly ill when I was playing this game. I'm still kind of ill now. It's been like 2 weeks since I recorded that draft analysis. I didn't feel healthy enough to do a live comm, so our good friend KJ, go subscribe to him, he's a lot better at this than I am, was so gracious in passing me the footage, which is spliced down a little bit, so we're just going to kind of go through the highlights and see what happened. We have the teams here. I've already explained it a bit, but yeah, it was kind of what I was expecting. Sneasler was always at does it come, does it not, because you could force Sneasler, which is why I felt like I had to have Dual Wing Beat, but he didn't end up bringing it. Let's kind of look at this team. Yeah, kind of standard stuff. AV on these two. Not exactly expected, but not unexpected either. Classic back set, classic Thundy, banded Thwacky, and yeah, the problem child Comfey. We get into leads. I wanted to lead Garvantula here. Webs early would have been really fun, but I also just wanted to get a lot of damage down. I just decided I wanted to click Thunder immediately. Because I thought, like, he could risk going to Donphan here, but, like, I could easily click Hidden Power Ice, but better, basically. I wasn't sure if that was a risk he wanted to take this early. I thought he might go into, like, Quillfish, not Quillfish, Overquill. I just Thunder it down, obviously unaffected. We end up I believe clicking just a button here, because I really want to get Chip on this for Goldango later. You know, this is kind of one of the things that stops Goldango more easily. Not even just because it's AV, I didn't know it was AV at this point. I knew after I clicked the button, of course. I click Bug Buzz, I see that it does quite a low amount, especially considering I'm Life Orb. I'm like, oh, this is like max for death or whatever. So I just sacked this, which I honestly think is fine. I think I died for EQ regardless. I know KJ was really defensive here, but it's still Donphan, and we're still Garvantula. It did a couple of things for me, just gives me that information. Garvantula was never really gonna do too great here. I knew it could break decently, and really getting chip on this was fine. Because now we can go Gliscor and just get a spike up, which is good. Ice Spinner, pretty obvious. Kind of wanted to just see if he had it, because Donphan can't have infinite moves. I was wondering if this was a spinning set, or if it was like a knock. Sorry, a spinning set, or if it was like a rock set even. Ended up being AV. I thought it could have still been Spadef at this point, so I wasn't sure if it was maybe going to try to just set rocks on Gliscor here. But I wanted to get Toxic on it, just again, like, I want Goldendo as a win con here. I want it as much as possible to just be able to do what it wants. So forcing all this chip is kind of just good for me. You know what, I'll speed it up a little bit. How do I do this? Yeah, speed it up a bit. Not much to say, I think I click spikes here. I know I switch. Because I'm worried about Ice Shard. I probably shouldn't have been. I just go Bundle here. Because no matter what, this mon won't have a good move for Bundle. Just because it's forced to bring Knock, it's forced to bring EQ, it's forced to bring an Ice move, I mean, it's like... It's not even Knock even, it's Heavy Slam. Like, it's never going to have the best move. I just end up trying to just get damage on this. Ice Beam's a better click than Hydro overall. He just gives it to me, which I'm really happy with at this point. You kind of see this remaining 5. Outside of like exactly Overquill, kind of loose to Goldengo, and even Overquill, because we're so defensive, doesn't really do that much. I expected Overquill to be kind of this more defensive set. I thought it might spike on me, but yeah. So I think KJ decided on bringing Comfey in. Obviously Comfey is just this massive problem this game. Just does a huge amount of damage to like everything. Terra Comfey is insane. I can't believe Cyclizar was banned, but this thing was allowed. Let's Carmine here. So here I kind of make a mistake. In retrospect, I think I should have probably clicked, Liquidation here. I think Liquidation would have done quite a lot, especially considering I had a bit of attack. But I just wanted to haze. I wanted to see just kind of how much damage this was doing. I wasn't exactly calcing in the game, which is definitely a mistake. Calcing just gives you so much more information, makes games a lot easier. I really was just out of it. I was just kind of sat in bed playing this on my Switch. So this ends up doing a huge chunk. That mon's super strong. I haze here. So I die to another HP ground. I keep calling it HP. I mean, it's Terra Blast, but that same sort of thing. There's a world where I just haze, I think, over and over here, and just never let KJ get a boost, which is probably just a bad idea. I forget what I'd double into, because I don't think I stay in. But if I click like Liquidation there, this Comfey would have been on such a low amount of HP that a lot of stuff would have picked it off. And obviously +1 max priority Draining Kiss is insane. Okay, I think, yeah, I just sack Gliscor here. Because Pex, just with regen, is able to heal back just enough over time. Gliscor still threatens quite a bit of damage here. It also threatens Toxic, which is pretty important for me. Like, I need to make sure this thing just tries to kill me. So immediately afterwards, or at least pretty quickly afterwards, I think, yeah, I go for Halloumi, my good friend Blaziken. Now I live Draining Kiss, and I kill with a fire move. So KJ can't really stay in. He has to respect if I'm Scarf, or Bandit, or like, yeah, he has to respect if I'm Scarf, which I am, as you've seen. So he ends up going for Mercer's Puff. Now I live Draining Kiss quite comfortably. In fact, I live Draining Kiss after I Terra, which is quite impressive. Rocks aren't going to go up at this point, and because Overquill hasn't been in, I don't think Spikes are going up either. So I feel like if I can prevent any chip on this Blaziken, then I always have this in the back as I can go this and Oko Comfey whenever. CC does a huge amount! Huge amount. This is why we got Terra fighting. CC is such a spammable move in most cases. It's great. Now I am a little worried here this could be like Aqua Jet or Sucker Punch, which actually then kind of puts me in that range that I'm not exactly wanting to be in. So I believe I double out here. But as you see, we've got this huge chip on this. We've got Donphan down as well. Goldengo is just moving into play. Compe is a big thing stopping it right now, but we have the Shucker Berry. We have a lot of things going on. So I double Pex, because I am worried about like Sucker or something. And like Pex might get a chance to recover here, which would be great. So Pex is low. Kind of in a rough spot. So here he comes, Seiryu, the big Bax guy. I don't know how Bax looks. Now I don't want this thing to sub, so I immediately Gunk Shot. It does a good chunk, which is great, but I just can't let this thing sub, because if it subs, then I lose. So instead of hazing, which you might think is the more normal play, I do have to Gunk, because I know for a fact Goldengo just eats these. I believe I go to Goldengo pretty quickly. My lovely Wensleydale. Jeez. Obviously KJ's set up, it's probably the best chance it gets. EQ comes down, we don't even take 50. Goldengo's a boss. A real cake boss. A real big boss guy. Make it rain, I mean I have to of course. Goldengo's in a weird spot now. It's probably in range of a Terra Blast, which KJ's looking at now, yeah. So if we have a quick look on this turn, we're both at 3 mons. So sack-wise, it's a little awkward. I've got Bundle. Yeah, I've got Bundle, Blaziken, Goldengo. JJ's got Comfey. Thunderous Groot. Thraki. So this thing at +1 can... It's weird. So this thing at +1 doesn't kill Blaziken. Or, well, it doesn't kill Blaziken before Blaziken kills it. So, what's important here is that I don't let it get more than 1 boost. If I let it get 2 boosts, I always lose. So I go to Bundle here. It CMs once, you know, to be expected, and I have the sack Bundle here. But I'm clicking Encore, because Encore is a guaranteed way I don't lose. If it clicks Calm Mind again here, I would never kill it with a move, but if it Encore into Calm Mind, then I can go Blaziken, get a really free CC. Now I go Blaziken here anyway, and, you know, I'm Terra-fighting, but Compe just isn't so strong initially. Drain Piss is only 50 base power, it's only got like 81 special attack. The fact that Terra Blast is already 80 base power is why it's hit so hard. But I'm able to live this pretty comfortably. Click CC. And because it's not resisting, it just dies. It's a really good thing as well. Compe is just a huge problem this gen. I'm really glad, especially against some more slightly defensive teams like mine, where I do have to bring stuff like this Blaziken. Now this comes in, I'm worried about it potentially plotting, so I kind of want to make sure that, well, if I go Goldengo I always lose, so might as well just keep clicking CC. I believe KJ at this point thought I was possibly banded, because he saw adamant damage from me. I think he may have felt like Terra fighting weirdly as well. So Blaziken goes down, I get a huge amount of chip on this Thunderous here. Now I am still quite worried about plot at this point. However, I know that Thunderbolt into Glide will kill me, so I have to just click Recover here. Which, this sequence, how have I done this? Oh! Okay. Have to fix that one. So I just end up clicking Recover on this. Now I never take more than 50 from Thunderbolt. I just have max HP, I'm really bulky. I'm recovering up here a little bit. KJ obviously his best click is just Thunderbolt. I'm immune to Thunder Wave, it's as good as gold. But I just need to make sure I'm exactly out of reach of Banded Glide. That's my main thing. I always lose if it's things like Banded Knock or something. I have to rely on KJ thinking he has to glide here, which I know is kind of a terrible endgame to be in. But I wanted to make sure that if he was banded, he might think Banded Glide kills, and that's always a more like guaranteed thing kind of in your head. So I calced, it did like 58 max, I got to like 62 HP. And from here, yeah, the game was over. It was a really close one. I definitely, I think, made mistakes there. I'm glad I won at least. A really tough match. I love my trainer card. That was kind of it as far as the match goes. Things I'm happy with. Max Defense Goldango is just that guy. Bundle, it didn't do as much as like you'd think it would, but it did everything I needed it to. It was just always there as like, oh, I can't let everything get too in range. So it forced KJ to make these plays as well, and it forced so much prep on KJ's part. That double AV is no surprise considering Goldango Bundle. Blaziken, terrified, and I'm really glad I went for. Just huge damage CCs all around. The double edge didn't come up. But, you know, I guess I'm kind of sad about that, but not really. Things that maybe could have gone better. I probably should have played. I could have played Garvantula a little slower. I should have went bundle like earlier on those turns because there really isn't any reason I shouldn't, and just start throwing off really strong like ice beams or hydros because the team doesn't really like it. That's potentially a better line I could have went for. Gliscor got what I needed it to. Like it in the end, Goldango was opened up to win the end game, but I think getting a spike or two down would have really helped. And then I think same with Pex. Pex did what it needed to actually. Like it kind of stopped Comfey from instantly winning. I know it took a lot from it. Comfey is just strong. But you know, same with Comfey, same with Bax. It kind of prevented subs, which is something that my team can struggle with. I think Pex especially is quite prone to being subbed on and then kind of losing. It's something I'm gonna have to consider each week, and it did fine this week. I think that's just about it as far as the game goes. Uh, I hope you'll join me next time as we face off against Starfish. I'll see you all then, I'm pretty sure. Have a good diddly diddly day, everyone.